A generation of young people may never be able to own their own homes because of a grave housing crisis.
New figures show that net migration to the UK, that's the difference between the number of people arriving than leaving the country, dropped sharply to 204,000 in the year to June.
Stacked up ambulances, record-breaking waiting lists and a workforce struggling to make ends meet. The National Health Service is in crisis.
UK rent crisis hits all-time highs. Families flee cities they can't afford. NHS overwhelmed, hospitals understaffed. Young Brits emigrate in record numbers. £2,000 month rent for a one-bed in London, I'm done. Everything costs double, wages are stagnant. How are we supposed to survive? Once the United Kingdom was a global symbol of opportunity for career, education, culture and stability. But today, a crisis sweeps across the nation. A crisis not of war or disaster, but of cost, of affordability, of survival. In 2025, millions of Britons are facing a terrifying question. Can we still afford to live here? The cost of living and housing collapse. Money used to stretch a little further. Today, it barely buys the basics. According to the latest data from the Office for National Statistics, ONS, average private rents in England rose by 8.8% by February 2025, while in London rent inflation hit 9.2%. In 2024 alone, average monthly rent in England hit £1,276, up 9% year-on-year, the highest annual increase recorded since ONS began tracking in 2015. In London, rents surged even more, with many flats now commanding over £2,000 a month. Meanwhile, house price inflation didn't pause. The average house price across the UK climbed, with many regions seeing double-digit increases over the past 5 years. For many young people and working families, home ownership has slipped out of reach entirely.
An estimated 3 million households, 13%, were in fuel poverty last year.
Renters share overcrowded flats, families skip meals to pay energy bills, students drop out, the middle class once stable shrinks, the margin for error vanishes. Economic pressure, inflation and everyday survival. But rent is only the start. The cost of living crisis hits everywhere. Inflation continues to devour savings. Food, energy, transport, all basic needs have shot up by double digits in recent years, while wage growth lags far behind. For many, the choice isn't between wants and savings. It's between heating or eating, between keeping the lights on or paying the rent. As living costs explode, savings disappear, households slide into debt, credit cards pile up. For many, financial security has collapsed. Public services under strain, healthcare and NHS collapse. But financial stress isn't the only crisis. Public services, once among the best in the world, are crumbling under pressure. The National Health Service, NHS, in England now has more than 6 million people waiting for treatment, and nearly 3 million of them have not even received a first appointment or diagnostic test, a staggering backlog described as a waiting list crisis by Health Watch groups. Despite delivering over 18 million treatments in 2024, many specialist and elective procedures remain delayed by many months, sometimes more than a year.
Stacked up ambulances, record-breaking waiting lists and a workforce struggling to make ends meet. The National Health Service is in crisis.
That a broken limb, a chronic illness, even a routine checkup could turn into a gamble. That private healthcare, long a lux. Hurry becomes the only escape, but at what cost? When trust in public health erodes, life becomes fragile, fear replaces security. Education crisis, youth exodus and brain drain. For decades, the UK's universities and schools attracted talent from around the world. Today, the foundations of education are crumbling. Facts and data. Universities report falling international student enrollment due to skyrocketing living costs and tuition fees. Qualified teachers and academic staff are leaving in record numbers, unable to afford housing or live comfortably.
A generation of young people may never be able to own their own homes because of a grave housing crisis.
Young people who once dreamed of a future here, a stable life, a good career, home ownership, are now leaving en masse. This isn't just a migration, it's a brain drain. The loss of future doctors, engineers, researchers, teachers, the very backbone of national growth. Infrastructure collapse, transit, transport and daily hell.
And UK is witnessing another crisis, this time of fuel supply. and it is a result of truck driver shortage.
Beyond homes and hospitals, everyday life is deteriorating. Transport systems are overloaded, public infrastructure underfunded, commutes brutal. Facts and data. Daily commute times in major cities like London, Manchester, Birmingham frequently exceed 90 minutes.
About 6 months ago, things really got bad. I had 2 drivers that I couldn't afford to pay.
Mental health, social strain and the silent collapse.
And according to new figures, this is where too many people suffering a mental health crisis.
As costs rise, security vanishes, job stress intensifies, mental health becomes the silent victim. Every bill, every rent notice, every delayed appointment, it chips away at human dignity, leaving scars no chart can show. Water wave ACT6, migration, exodus and social fragmentation. The final consequence of collapse, flight, escape, exodus. Facts and data. Immigration rates from UK, especially among young professionals, nurses, teachers, engineers, at their highest in decades, as per Immigration and Migration Studies 2023-2025. Skilled worker vacancies rising in NHS, education, engineering, as talent leaves for more stable economies.
Have no doubt that we will rebuild Britain with wealth created in every community. Our NHS back on its feet facing the future. Secure borders, safer streets, everyone treated with dignity and respect at work.
Affordable housing was promised, the demand exploded, the supply crashed, and the people paid the price. Even dual-income households, once the symbol of middle-class stability, find themselves trapped. Renters for life, home ownership a dream.
A generation of young people may never be able to own their own homes because of a grave housing crisis.
Meanwhile, foreign investors, landlords and corporate buy-to-let companies treat homes like assets, not homes. Government failure, political silence and public rage.
Now, a new YouGov poll has found that 7 in 10 people believe Keir Starmer is handling immigration badly.
Promises of affordable housing, rent control, NHS recovery, cost of living support repeated year after year. Results minimal. Budgets passed, bills ignored, media headlines shift, but the crisis deepens. For many, trust is gone, faith is lost. The system built on stability is collapsing. Crime, social decay, and unequal rich-poor divide.
And the UK, well, unfortunately, it's a playground for criminals. Crime rose a staggering 14%.
Economic collapse breeds desperation. Desperation breeds chaos. Neighborhoods once safe now fear nightly break-ins. Shops close, streets empty after dusk. Families move, communities fragment. Collision, the breaking point, a nation's dark hour. Every crisis has a limit. Every people have a breaking point. Homelessness rising. Mental health collapsing. Public services near collapse. Skilled workforce leaving. Hope draining from the young generation. When a nation's own citizens can no longer afford to live in it, the alarm should ring in every corner of the world. The United Kingdom, land of history, dreams, opportunity. But today, for many, a place of fear, survival, escape. Living in the UK has become impossible. Not because it's unsafe. Not because the people failed. But because the system broke. Produced by Global Reports. Subscribe for more global issues and the stories that matter.